Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 70 of Manifesting with Meg. Tonight, my guest is Kerry Marraffino, and we'll be speaking to Open Your Eyes to the Beauty of the World. At first, I thought that was my topic. However, because we had to move the date, it became Obstacles Are Teachers to Reawaken Joy, which I'm super excited about because this is so in line with Kerry's message in the world. And she has so much to share tonight. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Kerry right to you. But remember, this is June, Embracing Your Joy. So we're going to be talking more about things that bring us all more joy or help us get to that place. In addition, since this is a show about transformation, dreams, inspiration, discovering bliss, true happiness, I want everyone to remember that once we get here, set our intentions to try to transform and manifest our life of our dreams, which is really, truly the fact of the matter that we're steps away from truly attaining a life we desire and wake up to the universe full empowered with possibility. So without further ado, good evening, Kerry. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Meg. Thanks for having me. I'm
Oh
so
my God,
excited.
I'm more excited because I know what incredible value you bring to the party and literally packing a powerful punch. And I will say that because you are, in fact, a fit trainer, which all of you out there who are ready to level up, I'll steal it from Scott Ferguson, just a little bit of tonight, Fergie, but and also show up and to live your best life ever. We'll start you off with small incremental changes, and Kerry certainly is the person who can bring you at least into the mind, body, spirit trifecta. So without further ado, I get to introduce this amazing person to you. She is not only an author, business development strategist, health and wellness blogger, and master athlete mindset coach. She also wrote her own first book, 31 Days to Workout Challenge. But I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit more insight into this incredible person. She literally can transform your life and body from the inside out if you're willing to give her a chance. Kerry can turn your struggles, doubts, and fears into the fire that fuels you by tapping into your mind and body. And I have to tell you, before we actually started tonight, super cool, she brought out her sound bowls, right? What are they called? Sound bowls, correct? Or
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so maybe she'll hit us up with a couple of those wonderful chimes to bring our bodies to center perhaps, and maybe our minds to calm them a little. I know that felt really good before we started, and I really appreciated it, believe me. And also, she is a mother of two, so she does all of the above with two kids. She's the wife of a retired firefighter, so you can only imagine what kind of like leveled up family that is. And she can be your mindset and wellness coach, helping you to learn what works for your body and lifestyle nobody else's. So she definitely does bring any program to fit you. She says everyone has a story that plays in their head. With her help, you can rewrite the ending to make it one you're proud of, which is literally what we all want to be, is proud of the life and the legacy we leave behind. And she also, even in challenging times, wrote her first book during the pandemic because she was struggling to stay motivated to work out while at home. She created that 31-day workout challenge I spoke to earlier, which serves as a motivational journal and workout guide. And I know that you can get it on Amazon. I've included the link on the Facebook page. So without further ado, are you ready to combine the power of mindset with her passion to level up this Wednesday evening, and rainy at that in Miami, and have Kerry help you get unstuck and create the life and body you want? Welcome, Kerry, once again.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so
You know,
glad to be here. It's been quite a week.
it has been quite a week. And I have to tell you, ever since our first conversation together, when we first met, there were so many synchronicities that were actually happening that, of course, we have to change the date. And then we have another synchronicity happening tonight. So I shouldn't be so surprised. But the reality is I always get excited around those little surprises. So, maybe the week has been rough, but you have had quite the journey, even longer back than this week. So I would love for you to tell us, I think specifically tonight, the fact that you wrote a book during the pandemic to help your clients as well, so they wouldn't get stuck in this idea that they're stuck in their house and they're really stuck in whatever conundrum they find themselves. So maybe we can start there, considering we're talking about obstacles tonight. I think that might be a great place.
Yeah, it's like I was stuck myself. So I, did it selfishly at first. And, I was trying to find my way with gyms being closed and being home with like very little workout equipment. And, when you're by yourself, for me, I'm not, the lone wolf. I like people. I'm a social butterfly. So I like to be around people. I don't have to talk to them, but if they're there and around me, I feel so much better in that space. So I was really struggling with not having anyone around, having to get up and get outside and, go work out when it was really hot. And, I just kept thinking, why am I doing this? I said, okay, you can remember why you're doing this and just do it anyway. So I got through it. And I thought to myself, well, other people must be having the same issue. They're home. Luckily I borrowed some equipment from our gym and I had some stuff at home, but I started thinking about other people. I said, they don't have anything probably, and if you'd go to the stores during those times, if you even went out, you couldn't find any gym equipment. I don't know who tried that, but it was impossible to find anything.
Well, I think everyone was ordering and it was like completely backed up, man. I'm telling you. And I have to tell you, it's a beautiful cover. I know that and I wish I put the picture. I have their other information, but I want to show everybody this gorgeous cover. And it is pretty wonderful because, you give like short and sweet things that you can do to get yourself in a place that you would really be proud of. But continue and tell us what happened after that.
So I started out, I don't know if I told you this before. I started out with an email campaign. So I did a 31, every day you got an email with your workout. And, when we were doing the virtual school, one of my kids' teachers sent the kids a link. He's in middle school and sent him a link, said, I'm doing this workout. You create a word and you do the workout. And she says, I picked the word tired. I just said, why? Why would you do that? Why would you pick that word? That's interesting. I said, she must be tired. And we don't want to be tired. So let's pick a different word. So that's where the idea of the journal came in. It was just to create positive words. Your mind will go after what you're thinking. So I'm like, I don't want to think I'm tired. I want to think I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I'm strong, stuff like that. So I put together what I call, powerful, empowering words, and I use them to create the workouts. So
I love, and it really is very short and to the point and sweet and all of the above. So for anybody out there who's looking for a quick way to boost it up, I mean, she does have you doing burpees.
I know. And you can do burpees or you got to make it work for you. I just wanted to give them something that they could move to. And honestly, I've had people that they picked, their own word or asked me for a word, and I created one for them, and it took them all week to do the word. And I said, I don't care. As long as you do the word, as long as you're getting up, moving and feeling good about moving, that's the whole point, really.
I think we first connected and it was really interesting because you shared with me literally the beginning of your journey on this wellness path that you've taken. And I want to go back to our theme because I think it's really important because I think it kind of ties everything in together. Obstacles are teachers to reawaken joy. And the quote we have tonight is stand up to your obstacles and do something about them. You will find they haven't half the strength you think they have. And that's Norman Vincent Peale, one of my favorites, author of Power of Positive Thinking. So, it's a mentality of where you find new ways to see obstacles as greatest allies rather than the greatest enemy and possibly the greatest teachers you'll ever have. And when you think of it, as greatest teachers, things start to change because then you get curious as to why it's showing up again. And, one of the most amazing things is if you look over the timeline of the history of everything, you can see that the greatest thinkers of our time made the greatest discoveries of our time because the obstacles that required them to come with better solutions that catapult ideas further. And interestingly enough, look at you came up with an incredible idea that would help people, out of a place where, I can still help people even though we're stuck with a huge challenge here. So instead of when you face your obstacles, think of, oh God, I mean, we're all, it was a very long process. It was tiring. It's a marathon, not a race. So if you were thinking that this is going to be a race, you probably got wired out about the first like week at that, but when you face your obstacles, asking them, teacher, what is the lesson here?
Mm-hmm.
And you take the time to listen to the answers that they come, then the universe is speaking to us, helping us follow a path that actually will allow those obstacles to better serve us, and allowing them to reawaken to a place of joy, which is what you did with this beautiful book, because that's your first book that you've published now, correct?
Right. Yes.
So let me ask you, what are your thoughts on this, since you are the expert here with regards to overcoming obstacles?
Yeah, well, I like what you said about, stand up to your obstacles and do something about them, because just the word stand, and stand up, that's take action. I was stuck in this, place of, being the victim. I lost my mother to breast cancer, and I was just stuck in time.
Yeah.
Like I was without her, and I couldn't enjoy anything because she wasn't there. And it took me a while to get out of that and to realize, I kept looking all different places for my joy, or I can't be happy because she's not here. And I kept playing that story over in my head. And finally, a friend sat me down and she said, I can tell you're not happy and you can't go on this way. And I think that's what just really like gave me the kick in the pants that I needed. I was like, oh my God, even my best friend doesn't want to be with me because, I'm just so down.
Yeah.
And I started to look at things like, oh, it finally dawned on me, it's not, what's going on outside, but it's really what's going on inside of me. And it's up to me to change things. I kept looking, not pointing the finger, but looking to others for answers. And there weren't any, And I think we all go through that, where you just, have a bad day or something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't deal with this right now. Or I don't know what to do. And I found myself in a situation like that. I actually wrote a blog about it. Something had happened. I was going after one of my dreams, let's say. And I was like, everything that possibly could go wrong would go wrong. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. I started with the doubt and what's the universe trying to tell me? And I finally just stopped, and I was about to cry and like give up. And I said, you know what am I here to learn? And I
love that.
I just stopped and I said, I have to just listen for a second. I said, if I want to cry, I can cry, but I just need to listen, because there's something here that I'm missing that I'm supposed to learn. That's why it keeps hitting me over the head so hard. And I did. I sat, and luckily I was home alone. I had my moment, right? And the message came to me like loud and clear. And I moved on, and I was like, oh my gosh, never before would I have been able to get into that space where I could just, listen like that and move on. And it takes practice, and it's not always going to be easy.
I love that you said, and I said, like, you actually ask yourself the question, what am I here to learn? Like, I do that so many days of the week. I like, what am I here to learn? Another, I think that's why people say that they're tired. It's like, enough with the lessons.
Right. I know, like sometimes you're learning too much, right? But
I was like, let me learn it so I can move the hell on, because I am just done with that. And, I think that, unfortunately, news break, we're never done with the lessons until we're actually done with this journey in this life. So I don't want to bring doom and gloom. But what I do want to say is there's got to be some way, and I think that this is really cool about the joy factor, and I would love to ask you about this too, is that how do you reinsert joy when you're feeling that down in your world?
Well, usually when I'm feeling down, it's because, and I've done this before. I figured out what my most important values are. And I know for me, it's integrity, honesty, creativity is one of my really big values. So when I'm feeling like down like that, it's because I'm not being creative. So I will go find something, whether I go paint or, I don't know, sing in the shower, I have to find something that gets me out of that space. And it's really, I'll get down when I'm not using my creative side of my brain.
So like, okay, so normal Joe, normal Nancy, I don't know, name whatever you want to call, like, life sometimes becomes really big heaviness, like the weight of life. And I know like the endorphin kicks you get when you're doing CrossFit, because I've seen the pictures. And ladies and gentlemen, if you go to her Instagram feed, she has great reels where they show that she's lifting significant weight. And this did not just start overnight. I mean, she had to build up to this, because I love her story. Tell us a little bit about that with regard to how you started that part of your journey, of what brought you to that place where you're like, all right. I know, because I like look at you sometimes and I'm just like, yeah, I am really impressed.
Well, it's similar to how I used to look at people at the gym and be like, oh my gosh, how do they get to be like that? They just look like that. That's what I used to tell myself. They just look like that. They don't really have to do any work.
Oh,
like, that's just how they are. They just look like that.
Yeah.
And when I started out to getting into fitness, like I've always been into my health and being active, but before CrossFit, I did yoga and Pilates, and I had just had, our two kids. So my second was, how old was she? She was a year. Yeah, she was a year. And I said, okay, that's it. I've lost as much of this 50 pounds of baby weight that I can. And I still had 35 pounds to go. And I said, I just got to start somewhere. And my husband, because he's a firefighter, he recommended CrossFit. Of course, he doesn't do it.
No, of course.
So I went and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're going to kill me. I'm like, they're going to be on the side of the road and no one's even going to come check on me. I said, I don't know if I can do
Oh my
this.
God.
So that was like the end of CrossFit for me. And I said, you know what? And I don't like to quit. So I said to myself and my husband, I said, you know what? Maybe if there was a spot that was a little bit closer. That's it. If there's a spot that's closer, honey, I will give it one more try. So like 2 months later, when I was ready, literally behind our house, a gym opened up and it was free for like the whole month. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, this is my sign. I got to try it again.
Yeah.
And I walked in and it was just, they just took so much care with me. You know? And
you were at a CrossFit gym the second time around too? You went back to a CrossFit gym?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you saw this, because I've been to CrossFit and like, it looked like the Marines were coming for me. And literally, I do know that I would never survive.
Well, the good news was they had just opened up, so they didn't really have that many members yet.
Okay.
So that was helpful, so that's good to know. Like, go when it's not as busy, right?
Yeah.
Don't go when everybody who's been doing it for, 8,000 years is there. Yeah. Go when it's off time. So, but I did show up one morning about 2 weeks after I started, and it was me and like, I don't know, 4 firefighters. And I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm still breastfeeding, but I gotta get home to feed my daughter. Right?
Oh my God.
I don't run. I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. But sure enough, like I didn't come in last. I was so excited with these 4 guys and me. I did not come in last. And 2 of the guys never came back. They just hit it so hard from the beginning that they wore themselves out. And I said, hey, I can do this.
But like it's a marathon, right? It's not a race. You have to, and I have to say, Berta's saying that you're so inspiring. She's still working on her baby weight, and her youngest is 371 months old. Oh God. But you literally are, and I agree with Berta. You are definitely a badass. She's saying she went for 5 months when she was 46, and my only mission was to last an hour without dying. But the reality is, I mean, I have to show people in the stream because you're quite amazing. And Suzanne's also saying, like anything, it's amazing what you can do when you try. But I'm going to show everybody this beautiful picture of you. Like, I don't know where you're climbing, but I seriously see you in one of those American Gladiator challenges, because okay, let me have my own personal fantasy of you doing these incredible, because I'll know you and I'll be like, I know her, like totally.
Go for it, because my husband's laughing, I'm sure.
Well, I can tell you this. I mean, Suzanne's right. You can do anything if you try or see, I do like to go back to the concept of joy, right? And I think that when you do things, certainly at the first, it's not going to be joyful, but at the end, when you're done, it feels so good. That joy, that endorphin hit everything. And I want to read this quote because I think I absolutely love it. Adversity is a gift. Embrace it. Continue to be grateful when things are tough, not just when they're going well. And that's Marcus Antony. Marcus
Aurelius Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah. So the coolest thing in the world is this, people who see adversity and they run from it will never know how great they can be, because, when things are tough, that's when you see how strong you are. So tell me a little bit about what this means to you, because I love it. And I love the fact that you're hanging off of something. So explain what you're doing here. I would love to know.
Oh, is that the one of me climbing the rope?
It looks like climbing a rope. Yes.
Yeah, that was I don't know. That must have been the deer games. I think that was the deer games.
What are deer games?
We had
what the fuck is that?
It was a CrossFit competition with our gym, our own gym members. We got the whole rig and everything like they have at the CrossFit games, and we had a whole day of competition against each other.
Wow.
And it was just an incredible experience, because I never thought of myself as an athlete, and once you get into that space and you start to take action, it's just like anything is possible, like Suzanne said. And it's really about being grateful when things are tough. I think that's the important part. It's like, be grateful that you're here working out or with your friends, find something, because you got to find something to dig deep, sometimes. But I
find that best friendships are made when you have like challenges and you all have to get together and get through it together. And then you're just like solid because you have this thing that brought you all together, right?
Here goes the dog.
He agrees with me. He agrees with me.
Either the kids are home or I got an Amazon shipment.
Oh, there you go. Two fun things for sure. Oh my God, I love it. Well, the other thing you gave me, and this is you absolutely stunning in this picture with your beautiful blue dress, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. Helen Keller. Love this quote. Tell me what this means to you, and tell me where the heck you were. You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. That was actually at a studio up in Orlando. They have it's called Wall Crawl, but they have all these different sets that you can take pictures for your marketing and stuff. But I think that we all see ourselves in differently than other people see ourselves. Like you're imagining me one way, and I'm thinking myself another way. And I think it's just really embracing the fact that people see beauty in different things, and things that I don't like about myself, people will tell me, oh my gosh, I love that. So it's just accepting that, whatever they said, they see it for a reason, and there's gotta be some truth to it, instead of pushing off the compliment or, not letting that in. Because I think we all need more kindness and more love, in our space. And lots of times, I think, especially even as women, sometimes we're not able to accept compliments, or it's hard for us, or we're just, we just want to be more humble, but it's okay, let it in.
Well, I do love that you're saying that, because I was saying with you earlier, I said, I think everyone needs a little love bomb tonight, a little love, because I think that people, for whatever reason, are feeling, the lethargy of life, and that they have to understand that they're not by themselves, and they're really, there are people out there. But I think that what we can do is, like what you just said, is to, mirror back in words to other people how beautiful they really are, even though, for me, I'm always expecting someone to critique me or judge me. I go out into the world, it's like, and that comes from my childhood, clearly. I like healing the wounds, still the lesson. I told you, I am so tired of the friggin' lessons. I'm like done already. But they always come back. Like, I don't know about you, but it's like kind of the judgment, always. And one day you're just going to say, oh yeah, I look good, man. I look good. Put your tiara on. I got 3 of them over here,
I got one up there.
There you go. We should wear them together. But really, one of the things is certainly when you're like in your sweats and you're ready to go and you're just see what your body can do, and how impressive that when you push yourself, healthfully, not overdoing it like the first guys that you came in with that just burn themselves out, but you do it with moderation and increments, you start to change how you see yourself and also what is within you. And I think that that's what I hear you saying, which is amazing legacy for sure.
Yeah, it really opened up my eyes to how I was seeing myself, because we had someone at the gym had taken a picture and they posted it on Facebook, and they kept people would come up to me and they kept talking about this picture of me, and I'm saying, I don't see it. Where is it? And I must have seen it about 20 times.
Oh,
Meg,
really?
and I didn't recognize myself. I thought it was somebody else. I was like, that's not how I look. And I honestly didn't recognize myself in the picture. I kept going by it going, well, I don't know why I don't see it. They're like, no, this picture. I go, no, that's so-and-so.
Oh,
like,
you couldn't see
no,
you.
that's you. So like over time, that image of myself has changed, luckily, and with practice, and it is that's a muscle too that you have to practice, is, being kind to yourself, and, just seeing what you can do, because you don't know until you try it.
Yeah.
When I first started CrossFit, my coaches, I found out years later, they never thought I'd make it. Because I was that uncoordinated, and I've always been like that my whole life. Like my husband's like naturally talented. Everything he does is like easy the first try. Not me. I have to try and mess up and until I get it. But I'm determined, once I want to do something, I'm going to do it. And the same coach pulled me aside one time and said, I can teach people skills, Kerry, but I can't teach them heart. You have heart. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna keep going until you tell me to stop. But
I love it.
I said, you just have to keep at it, no matter what it is.
Suzanne's saying we need more self-love and acceptance, which is absolutely true. I think, imagine, if each of us, every morning wakes up and says, I see something wonderful in the mirror looking back at me, what kind of day would you have subsequent to that? Yeah. And Berta just said, boom to you. Congratulations on what you said, because you have heart, and the heavy energy out there is for sure right now so important for all of us to be super intentional. And I think that one of the things that I love about you is that you are fully focused and intentional how you show up in the world. And that's one thing I definitely admire about you, because a lot of people are scattered, myself included, a lot of the times. And we need those models to look up to, then, so you're like, reshift yourself. And okay, she's in my circle of influence. So I must be somewhat like her. So I must see those good things I see in you, in myself. And then boom, things start to change for you. So I want to add to the beauty of your quotes is that you are proud enough to put your pictures with the workout challenge on there of you just killing it, which I think, is a form of pride. And it's not boastful, it's proud. It's proud because
and it took me a long time before I'd share any pictures like that.
Well, tell me your progress, because I think that's really important to, really acknowledge what you said right there, that you didn't show up this way. Like after you had your baby and you showed up with the
oh my gosh, and there's things going on that you never knew your body was capable of doing.
Oh my God.
And it's like, you just have to I don't know. I just look at it. I think our words are very important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if I'm not, why don't you have a good day? If you wake up and you're like, do you say, oh, this day is going to be horrible? Well, then you're going to have a bad day, right? I get up and I say to myself in the morning, when I get out of bed, I say, I am creating a beautiful day.
Oh, I love it.
And it's as simple as that.
I love it.
I'm going to be surprised by the beauty that I see. Whatever beautiful things happen and are brought to me, it's because that's my intention.
I love it.
And I just wake up and that's how I start my day. I'm creating a beautiful day. And I teach that to my kids, just go out there and whatever happens, but you're still going to be okay.
Yeah.
People still love you, whether it feels like it or not.
It's a really good thing when the world feels like it's falling all around you, to somehow find that center. I love your bowls, by the way. We're going to get a couple hits of those, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to make you do it because I'm the host tonight. And I'm going to say, would you like to play your bowls tonight? But find a way to get back to that center of play. And I'm really finding it really important these days to be more playful with life, because I don't find that life playful. I am so serious. I have to remind myself that life's too important to be taken so seriously. But literally, I show up and I need the A. Like, how am I going to get the A? And if I don't get the A, then some days I'll just crumple down into a ball of nothingness and crawl away into my closet, which is where I did spend my first couple of months after my mother passed away from breast cancer, in my closet, in a corner, in a crumpled mess, because that's all I could do for that day. Right. So I had to get to the point, like you were saying, to actually pick myself up and move forward, but I had to get there. My feelings had to move through me. So that's why I love this quote. A real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken a new action. If there's no action, you haven't truly decided. That's Tony Robbins. And I think that why this speaks to me when I'm speaking to that is, well, it was an action for me to go sit in my closet and just be in a place that was safe, where I could just emote in a way that I didn't feel like someone was coming at me. I imagine at the same time, when you're going through your process, you had the same experience, but then you took the real decision for another action that's pulling yourself out of, depression to possibility, but in such a way that's increment. So tell me a little bit about this quote and what it means to you.
Well, it goes along with your one about stepping up. What was that one that you read about stepping up to your obstacles?
Right. That was the first. Yeah.
The best way to, get over something that's hard is to make a decision and take an action. Just doesn't matter what the action is. If you don't physically get up and move and act towards something, you're going to be stuck because your brain will stop you. Your brain will start going, oh, I don't know how, but what if? Oh, well, how am I going to do that? Who's going to, it's going to start with the questions, and you're going to talk yourself out of whatever decision you just made.
Yeah.
There's a really good book. I don't know if you've read Mel Robbins' book, the 5-second rule.
So I think
it says you have 5 seconds and before your brain will talk you out. You got 5 seconds to act. Well, before your brain's going to talk you out of whatever great idea you just had.
So I've heard them say that go sit down for 5 seconds, see what you can get done. And generally it adds on. But I never heard that Mel Robbins wrote something with regard to that. So that's very interesting. I mean, say it again and say it loud, my friend.
Yeah. So it's called the 5-second rule. So she says that, you make this great decision like, oh, I want to write a book. And if you don't do something about it, like, I don't know, call your girlfriend and say, hey, I want to write a book. Will you support me? That's taking action.
Yeah.
Your brain's going to go, oh, you've never written a book before.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know how to do that. Why would anyone want to read your book? Oh my, and then you're like, oh, no, I shouldn't write a book.
Oh my God.
Because your brain wants to keep you comfortable. It doesn't want you to suffer. It wants to keep you where you are. It's just a conscious choice, to take an action.
I love it. The 5-second
not rule. Let that voice in.
I love it. 5 seconds, everybody. 5 seconds is all it takes to convince yourself to something better. And I actually have a plaque by my stationary bike, and it says, of course I talk to myself. I need expert opinion occasionally. And you know what? So that makes me think that, okay, so what I'm saying to myself is an expert opinion. So it must be something that has to be coming from a good place. So I might as well tell myself something good, right? And it's funny because, Suzanne's saying stuck is such a heavy word. I hate that feeling. But you were talking about words before and how powerful words are and how they can lift you up and take you down. And I love how you say the next step up. And I'm looking at that weight you're carrying. Obviously you have your weight belt on, holding you steady in the middle. How much are you able to lift at this point?
Oh gosh, I don't know. What was that? The deadlift one?
Yeah, deadlift.
I don't know. I don't do it all the time, so I don't think I'm going to go tomorrow and do it. I've lifted 240 pounds before.
Wow. So they bring you as a volunteer firefighter occasionally, because I know you have to carry a lot of stuff.
We've had to carry people on our shoulder.
Oh wow, amazing. And that's CrossFit, everybody.
Yeah.
Are you
still? I never felt good in the regular gym. I was very uncomfortable there. I would do classes and I'd be fine with that. But if I was out in the weight room or on the floor, I was extremely uncomfortable. And God forbid someone was on the machine I wanted to use, because I'd go with a list. I'd say, I have to do all this before I can come home. And if someone was on the machine, forget it. I wouldn't know what to do. And I just hated that like anxiety.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I really gravitate towards CrossFit. And, you have to find what you love, whether it's yoga or running, dancing, whatever it is. You need to find what you love, or you're not going to keep doing it.
I do. I love that. And that's really important because, you paid attention to the fact that you were having anxiety in a gym setting that didn't work for you. So you went and found a place, you gave it a try, like what Suzanne was saying, and then you found that you loved it. And no, maybe not at first, and maybe you didn't feel, and I'm sure you didn't feel like this was like the, the best in the world after you're done. I'm sure your body was screaming all over, but you gave it a solid try and it stuck. And this is where the determination comes in, right? Determined people working together can do anything. And that's Jim Casey. Mm-hmm. And, interestingly enough, you're absolutely right, because let me tell you, there are so many people who will be, oh, that's crazy, that's impossible. And they'll mock me for it. And I'm literally, my whole life has been built on determination, determination. I do not give up. And I know you don't give up either. And I'm sitting here looking at you throwing a heavy ball. It looks like a medicine ball. Is it a medicine ball? Okay. It's a medicine ball, and your muscles are just rocking it. And the bottom line is, it didn't start that way. You got here. You got here.
No, they used to make fun of me because I don't know what happened with when I got pregnant the second time, but my body temperature just is I was just so hot through that whole pregnancy. I was in menopause, but I wasn't. And I'm pregnant. And I'm still so I sweat so much at the gym. I'd always be the one to take my shirt off because it's no air conditioning at the gym. And we're outside, and the coach would always be like, just let it all hang out, just like Carrie. Just be like Carrie. Be
like Carrie?
I can't help it.
Oh my God, I love that. Be like Carrie, everybody. Let it all hang out. Did you hear me? There you go.
I just didn't care because, I just couldn't breathe anymore. I was like, okay, that's it. I have to bust out.
Well, you know what? It's in Florida, by the way. You do live in South Florida, so that literally you can't breathe, and it's stifling humidity and heat. And look, if you're in the gym, you're not, and especially CrossFit, something that's a serious gym. You're there not to play. You're there to, really play. Really just put it all out there, like you said, working together with everyone else, cheering you on. And I think that if we all thought that way, what a world this would be, right? A little different, if we're all here to help each other come through, get through, show up, do our thing, then, the problem is, I have to say this to be the fact. And I think this is after COVID too. And I really will say this after COVID. A lot of people are shaming themselves right now. And, you're just shaming the hell out of yourself. Oh, look what you did. Okay. There is a beautiful meme, and I wish I had it right now, because my friend Jennifer Fouché basically put it, and it was beautiful, and I have to read it to you. And I wish, like I said, I had it out there, but it is on point with regard to what we're going to do with people. So it says, a lot of us we're going to start seeing friends soon that we may not have seen in a long time. You know what we're going to say if we notice that their bodies have changed? Not a effing word, literally, because we just got through COVID-19 for 15 to 18 months. And you know what? You're alive. Today's a new day. You have a chance. And with determination, what kind of inspiration can you give those people? Because you were there. You were there, and you have learned to sustain yourself even during that, even when you couldn't get to the gym. So what would you inspire others to do at that point when they're feeling shame and they're blaming themselves? Look what I did to myself. Wow.
You just have to take one step. Sometimes it's just, even if you put your clothes on and you get your sneakers on and you go sit on the front step and you don't walk yet, but you sit there for 5 minutes. Hey, yesterday you were on the couch. Okay. Just take a step and say, okay, next day I can go a little bit farther. I'm going to go to the mailbox. I'm going to go to the neighbor's house, see how they're doing, check in.
Yeah.
I'm going to go around the block. I mean, it doesn't have to be a lot, but you have to get that pattern established.
A consistent routine that
and be gentle on yourself. Okay. You can't look at the past and shame yourself.
Yeah.
That's over. What are you going to do now? You got to live in the present moment.
Yeah.
And just say, what can I do now? That'll make me a better tomorrow.
I love that. What can I do now? Which is really empowering, because if you're staying in the present moment, that's a gift to yourself. And Suzanne's saying it's so hard getting back into my workouts, but she's trying. Well, listen, the bottom line is like when a coaching client comes to you and says, God, and I just don't want to come see you because you're just going to look at me and judge me. What would you say to that? Like literally.
Well, I mean, we all started somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just the important part, is that you start. It's, you know, when I started, I had a crazy schedule. My husband was still working at the time, so he would be gone for 24 hours and I'd have the 2 kids by myself. So like, if I didn't get sleep, that workout wasn't really happening. And I said, okay, but I'm not going to quit. So how can I make this work for me? I said, well, my goal then is I'm going to work out 1 to 3 times a week. Some weeks it was 1 time, and I did not beat myself up about it. I just moved on because I didn't want to quit. And I didn't want to say, oh, it's been 6 days and I haven't worked out. And I said, that's okay.
Yeah.
I give myself that grace. And, you know, next week I'm going to make my 2 or 3 days. And I just kept doing that. And then it turned into every other day. You know, I'd go one day, take a day off.
So is this your day job now? Is this what you do for a living now? Is this that you go and you coach people for wellness, or do you have I mean, look, I know that you're a mother. We all know that's a huge job. You know, even a wife, that's a huge job. I mean, this, you know, how much do you do this a day? Like,
I would say most of my training spent on myself, and I have clients that I'm coaching part-time. And I have a full-time job as well. And, but yeah, now I'm getting more and more clients. So that's, you know, it's picking up, but it's still.
So growing. Are you a group coach, or do you do it one-on-one mostly?
No, one-on-one.
It's one-on-one.
Yeah. And I had, gosh, there's different reasons for people come for coaching, right? You know, some people just want to have fun and be active and move, and other people have a goal in mind. So it's just, I like that everybody has a different purpose, you know?
Yeah.
I really like that. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, I got to lose the 20 pounds I just gained. I'm like, just move. Don't worry about the 20 pounds.
Yeah. I love that.
Go do something you like.
Yeah.
You know, go buy rollerblades. Go do something that's going to be fun.
Well, the thing is, as kids, we're running around constantly, right? We're always moving, always moving. It's not like a set plan of, you know, you schedule in moving. But I guess we might have to schedule in moving, because we got to 5-second ourselves. Like, we're going to have to 5-second ourselves to move, because we don't want to allow the brain, you know, to turn on us.
But think about when you were a kid, you know, when I think back to all the cool stuff I did, like, especially in my teenage years to, like, I don't know, 24, 25, you didn't say, you know, how did that thought process happen, Meg? You'd say, oh, I want to do this. And you'd go do it.
Yeah.
You didn't say, I don't know how to do that. You didn't say, I'm not sure. You just did it. You just said, oh, I want to go live in another country. You did it. You know, like I did.
So I don't even know if it's less fear or fear of failure, or I don't know what's playing in the brain. You know, I don't know, like, I know, oh God, here we do it again. Like, I've already lost that 30 pounds. Now I'm going to go do it again. I thought I was done with this. Oh my God, now I got to do it again. You know what I mean? So it becomes like, okay, you know, here we go. And it takes all that exerted energy to start, literally get up and move. How do you turn it into, I know your journal's amazing. That's what Bertha's saying, you know, a super great tracker, and keeps anyone feeling like, you know, Kerry's watching, which is you're Kerry. And, you know, but I think that what is like, okay, everybody literally is wanting to go to the beach. They want to be a part of the world. They want to feel good about the skin they're in. What would you suggest if someone came to you the first day and said, okay, I like your energy. You're pretty rockin'. You are definitely, you know, your path and your journey, your story is inspiring. But how do I become that? You know, like, what would you say to them?
I would ask them what they like to do and I always ask people what they want to do, but then I dig deeper to find out what they like to do.
Yeah.
You know? And usually the first answer when you ask somebody what they want, it's not the real answer. You got to dig a little deeper.
So what, do they lie to you?
I want this. I want to look good in a bikini. No, that's not really what you want. You don't want to look good in a bikini. You want to be healthy, or, you know, you want to be here for your kids, or, you know, it's always something different than what they first tell you. So it's really just getting them to look at that and examine where they want to be. Because once they can identify that, that's where the motivation comes from, because now they have a purpose.
The purpose. Yeah.
My purpose is I want to be here for my kids.
Yeah.
I want to be healthy. I didn't like when, I lost my mom. That was not fun. She didn't see me get married or have kids or any of that stuff. And I'm like determined, again, there's that word, determined to be here for my kids and teach them to be, the best little problem solvers that they can be so that they can figure things out on their own.
And Suzanne saying that your job is so important because people need guidance. They need coaches to take them along. She was a trainer for 9 years and loved it, and she now is a writer and author, which is amazing too. Now she gets to bring stories to the table. I wanted to ask you about your legacy and what you want to leave to the world, with your vision, your mission, your whole, the party you're bringing. I literally party because I love the fact that anyone can show up and put a musical soundtrack behind them and dance their way through life if they want to. So go ahead, answer that as well.
Yeah, like for my legacy, it's really pretty simple. I want to raise my kids to be problem solvers. Like I said, I want people to be kind to one another. Just really just get back to basics. All the things that we had as kids growing up, the community, the neighborhood feel, just check in on people, see how they're doing, be nice to people, be kind to the planet and each other, be respectful. All the stuff that I think is getting unfortunately lost, I think is really important to bring back, really connect with that again is what my legacy is, just inspire people to move their body, but to be kind to each other, really.
I think that's awesome. I think kindness certainly is a huge 5-second start, right? Be kind to yourself first and foremost. Be kind, be kind, be kind. And it actually needs to change the way your state of mind is. And that goes back to why I do these shows. And I think that the really cool thing about having people like you, extraordinary people like you, talking about all of this is that you can engage others from a place of learning when you start to encourage them to embrace the joy that surrounds their purpose. And I think one of the most amazing things is like when you have an opportunity to have that audience, that person in front of you, what is the thing that comes to mind for you when you start the conversation to help them move forward in life?
Yeah, like it's different for everybody, but I think we're all so busy that unless they talk to someone like me or even a friend and spend that quality time, having a serious conversation where you actually ask questions, listen, answer back and dialogue that, I think they don't have time to even think what they want, because they haven't slowed down enough to figure it out or to even question, I think a lot of times people get lost in their families and their kids, and they don't think about what they need. I mean, my kids motivate me to do more self-care things for myself. They're my motivation to take care of myself and to move on, and not make it all about them. Yeah, they're important and we do stuff together, but it's like, if I'm not okay, they're not going to be okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I do believe that, a lot of people who live for their children but don't take care of themselves do their children a disservice, because the fact of the matter is they're going to learn that when they have their own families, that they have to, that whole servient. But I think, it's interesting. I heard the other day from a beautiful interview, I think it was Matthew McConaughey and Senga Roche or something like that. And he says, selfish is not a bad thing. Just be generous with your selfishness, like be a generosity of selfishness. And Berto would like the generosity factor, but it's like, you're going to be selfish for yourself, but bring other people along too, that include them. So, being self-full instead of selfish maybe is another way of looking at it. But the fact is that you take that time every day to build your body stronger, and bring your children along by saying, this is important for mommy and this is important in your life too. Just figure out what you like and do that, which I think is amazing. And that's another reason why I love to manifest with people like you for 2021. Certainly this is an opportunity. A lot of people were stuck. You wrote a book and you're stuck, literally, to help other people. So I think that, when it comes down to those obstacles as they show up and you're just deciding to do, what are the solutions that you can take for those obstacles and turn them into, problem solving, okay, you don't have a gym. Well, you can do this. You can use your own body weight to carry you through. And like I said, it's a beautiful book. And I it's funny because I don't like to write in it because I like to use it over again. it's always the planks I got, but it's always the burpees that turn me off, man. But I'll tell you, you can take what you like and leave the rest, because you give
That's right.
wonderful, here, I'll show you. There's like a whole area where you can inspire yourself to drink the water, and then the energy factor. It's like really touching base with yourself, which is really self-care and self-love that we're talking about. So what are you prioritizing in this season, this decade of your life, now that we've come out of the contrast of something like really shocking to the system, like a plague, pandemic, etc. Now things are opening up. What are you looking to do with yourself in your life?
Yeah, well, I'm always continuing my learning. I'm always learning something. And I think that goes with my creative side. I always feel best when I'm learning. Like, I've always read tons of books.
Yeah.
And, I like painting and stuff like that. But recently I got certified in the sound training. And
tell us, yes.
Cool. It was just so cool because I can see so many ways that where everything is sound.
Yeah.
I mean, every particle is just a vibration, even, your finger is a bunch of moving pieces.
Can you tell me, like, what is the theory of sound energy, sound healing?
Well, the different frequencies, like there's a cool thing that they explained to us in class, and they showed us if they play different frequencies. They had a metal plate and they played different frequencies. They connected to the plate, and every frequency they put like a handful of salt on the plate. And when they turned it on, a certain frequency would vibrate the plate, and it would form things that look like snowflakes. They'd play a different frequency, and it would completely shift without them touching anything to a whole different shape. And it's like, you know what? There's something to this.
So I would love, before we end, I know I'm pushing it, man, because that's 3 times, right? I would love for you to hit us up with a sound bowl to.
Let's see if it'll sing. Let's see if it'll sing.
Have it sing, and then maybe do you set an intention before you play these, like when you're offering it?
That's very important. So I'll let you set an intention for this, or I have one for the beginning that I wrote down.
Well, my intention tonight, and because I've seen a lot of people like reaching out, kind of like not having had a good day, reaching out and asking for others to support them, that with this interview, with what you're going to play with your sound bowl right now, my intention is that they know that they are supported even in their pain. So that is what I want to give out.
Yes, and my intention I wrote down at the beginning was to create curiosity, connection, and community. So I think that goes along well with yours.
I love it.
So
okay.
I have my bowl. I'm just gonna hit it. I'll see if it'll play. We'll see. I have to bring it down, but.
That's nice. Wow, that's awesome.
Hear how it just vibrates more.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I feel it. I feel it here. I definitely feel it here. Oh, that feels awesome. Wow, that's amazing. I have to say, what for you are the best tools that you've found, or practices that you have found, that one thing that levels you to the next step that you're talking about?
I always come back to visualization and like using something like a vision board. And you know what? I had something recently I was going after, and it came back in my head. Oh, I got to do a vision board. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm do a whole vision board. So what I did was I took a picture of the thing that I wanted, and I just kept meditating on it. I want this or better, this or better, this or better. This is the thing I wanted, and I lost it, but I want this.
Yeah.
And I said, I want this or better, and something better in a few days came along. So like just connecting with the emotional reasons that you want it, like you have to tie to the emotions of it.
I like that.
And anchor it in and just believe, you have to surrender to it, and just your mind will go after whatever you're thinking in your head.
True.
So you're thinking, I'm never gonna, no, you're not.
That's amazing.
Speak in the present, like you already have it.
Thoughts make things, And the feelings we have around those thoughts are even more powerful. And Suzanne's adding surrender. I mean, get out of your own way, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
or even better, something better than I can even imagine.
Right.
Something amazing is about to happen.
Yeah.
Let me be the channel by which it comes through. And go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, and write down what you're gonna feel like when you have it. You know, what are those emotions? How are you gonna feel? What's it look like? What's, you know, write it all, be descriptive and write it all down. Lock it in.
Love it. I love it.
Because, you know, if you get that connection to it, that good feeling, your mind's gonna go after that.
Wow. I love that. So write it down, lock it down. I love it.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Action, and you have to take action. That's the key
Oh,
part.
don't forget to
Don't
take
take any action towards it, it's not gonna happen. You know, the people that say just think positive, if you don't take any action, you're not gonna, it's not gonna work.
Power of positive thinking.
Don't call me later and say it didn't work.
Well, the power of positive thinking is a start. It's like the 5-second start, but you got to take action after that, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
you
the first action is to think something positive, but then actually the movement for which you were talking about so powerfully before, and the power of writing that Berta's saying is just, wow, you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, when I write it down, it's like it connects, it makes a connection in my brain that it's just, I don't know, when I write stuff down, it really makes sense.
Like it's a contract. Let's do this. Like, you know, I promise to, right? So tell me, so your intention was the curiosity and connections, the 3 C's. What was the third one again? Curiosity and community.
I think that's missing right now.
And so what page did you pick in Magical Guides to Bliss aligned with that?
You're gonna love this. 373.
And what is the heading? What does it say?
So this one is outside your comfort zone is where the magic happens.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
No positive change is possible unless action has been taken. What action should you take to create the change you want?
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, I love that.
On point is that. My God.
I know, and I didn't cheat, I promise.
It was totally aligned, synchronistic for sure. Absolutely. You know, I do want to leave everyone tonight with a final amazing inspiration from you. I want to say, I visualize, and I can't wait. Berta, Suzanne, you're all welcome to join us. A huge celebration, a reunion, a meeting, because we know each other only on Zoom. And I've had the pleasure of talking to you and connecting with you and following you and getting inspired by you. But my visualization would be to actually meet you in person, which would be fantastic.
We will.
I know we will. But with that, I would love for you to leave. I'm going to say it to the universe because you said I got to write that down. So I'm going to have to write that down tonight. But the reality is, you know, clearly you're inspirational. So what final bit of inspiration can you leave us with tonight so that everyone who is blessed to hear you can take it with them?
I'm going to keep it simple. And my advice for everybody is always continue to explore your talents.
I like that. I love that. And what does that mean to you?
So always keep learning, or, you know, there's always something else that you can experience and get joy from, and just go out and do it, you know, just keep exploring, have new experiences, and find what you love.
Wow, I love it. And I have to tell you, this morning when I woke up, I knew it was going to be a good day. Certainly for me, because I knew I was going to meet with you. But a friend of mine, Doug DeMark, sent me this picture of a sunrise. And, you know, like you and I were saying, this week has been tough. I'm so grateful that you were able to be flexible enough to meet with me on another day. But the most beautiful thing is the sunrise to me, because it's always the hope and possibility of doing it better the next day. So it's never over. You always have a beautiful sunrise to look forward to, because if you wake up that day, like you said, you know, creating yourself a beautiful day. And it certainly was worth the wait to have you on my show. You are a true butterfly, literally woke. You're my woke butterfly. And I'm grateful for people like Berta who introduced me to beautiful women like you, because, you know, we all have our down days and we all need to be inspired every so often. And literally when I see your posts pop up on Instagram Live or Instagram, it's like, okay, look at her, look at her. And I know your story, so I know you didn't start that way. So, put the shame aside, put the blame aside, start speaking beauty into your life. And I love what you said for your inspiration. The talents will certainly, brighten not only your day, but everybody else who crosses your way. So, I mean, what a blessing it is to have you in this world, Kerry, and the connections as well. And Berta's even saying, bravo, power. Suzanne's saying, great advice, party, and I am there. So the celebration is about to begin. Obstacles really can reawaken all of us to experience joy again. And literally, I'll end it with open your eyes. There's beauty all around. And certainly you are one of those beautiful people all around. So thank you all. Thank you all tonight for such a wonderful show. You are all blessings. We definitely send a love bomb out to all of you. Yeah. Yes. And if you want to find Kerry, like I said, you can go to Instagram Live. She's there a lot. So why don't you give them your @ sign so they can find you.
@K Marraffino. So it's K, the letter K, MARRAFFINO.
Okay. And is that where they mostly can find you? I know on LinkedIn you're
mostly on there. I also have a Facebook group. Some people like Facebook more. So I have a group called Reps by Kerry.
Okay. So and if they pop there, they can just sign, they can join the group.
They can just join, yeah. They can join the group. And Reps stands for Recipes, Education, Products, and Support. So
there you go. So if you want some Reps by Kerry, or you want the K Marraffino Instagram lives that she has, or not lives, but she goes reels. The reels are awesome. Or you do lives too, So that's awesome. Go check it out. You'll definitely get inspiration to get you moving and shifting from that 5 seconds of naysaying to 5 seconds of yay saying.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I love it. I had to say that's so friggin' corny, but I'm being corny today. So anyway, thank you again, everybody. Thank you to Kerry. And I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Remember, you're here as deliberate creators of your life. So go be creative, do that, come alive, dream big. Let us all raise the positive vibration in our world. Let us be bold and become awakeners. And it's time to manifest the life of your dreams. Kerry, you're a joy to have and joy to be around. And we wish you all a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.
Good night.